most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, and as usual, with me as always, is the Jive Turkey Nano. But you might have noticed there's a little bit of a difference here, folks. To our far right, we have a little SavJelly action. How we doing, SavJelly?
Fantastic.
Air horns.
And of course, we're hitting the air horns. And to my right, in real life, to my left on the camera, go ahead and lean in there if you'd like and say hello, Miss Mary.
Hello.
Bow, 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 bow.
All right, folks. With that being said, we are here to break down UFC 313, which myself, Miss Mary, and SavJelly had the opportunity to actually attend live in the flesh. Folks, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think of the fight card, and what was your favorite fight of the night? Do you think Dana got it right? I definitely think he did. But without further ado, we're going to go and jump into the first fight of the night, which was a bit of a robbery, folks. We had Jalin Santos coming in against Ozzy Diaz. And man, I'm going to keep it short and sweet here. It was close. It was, you know, fairly razor thin, which typically you'd hear me say, if it's razor thin, you shouldn't call it a robbery. But I thought as close as it was, there was an evident winner. One man obviously won 2 out of 3 rounds. And as a result, that man realistically should have been given the nod. But he was not. Nano, what were your thoughts on this fight? And am I a crazy man saying it was a bit of a robbery here?
What's going on, my brother? And what up, SavJelly? We got all hands on deck. Miss Mary in the building. Aye. It's going to be hard for me to be focused here. It's a party. I know it. But, man, you know, all jokes aside, this was an interesting matchup. I think if I'm the judges, to your point, you mentioned it was a robbery. I don't know if it was a little bit of Robin Hood going on here. I thought both guys had a solid chance. I didn't think anybody was really running away with it. Felt like Ozzy Diaz was kind of standing in the middle, owning the octagon, pushing back his opponent, Jordan. But before I keep going here, we got some comments coming through. We got Leroy. We got Andrew Nance. Oh, saying what's up to Sav. Sav, you got fans? What the heck? Day one already got fans. I love it. Dixon Sider, Emilianito. Actually, incredibly offended. Owen hasn't asked me to be on the channel yet. You know what, Dixon Sider? You do got some good takes, my brother. Yeah, chat. I'd like to have a chat tell show. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, my brother. We'll get some working now. We'll get some in the works. Great to have you as always. Great to have all of y'all trickling in.
Miss Mary over here said it took her about 12 years to get on the show. So
wait in line. Take a number.
It's a long barrier of entry there, Dixon Sider. Don't feel bad. Okay?
Oh man,
but listen,
Leroy, I'll donate my sword. All right, Lord of the Rings reference. We love to see it.
Fair, touche. But it was a close one. I mean, especially when you look at the striking differential, like each round, less than 5 strike differential between the two guys. And overall, looks like Ozzy outlanded him by literally 2 significant strikes, 2 total strikes. I think really it was just his forward pressure and getting Santos on his back foot, at least visually made it look like he was winning. But I'm curious. I mean, listen, yo, it's not every day we get to see or talk to people that got to see it in the flesh. SavJelly, you were there live. How were the sounds? Were people angry? Were you getting beer spilled on you? What was going on in the stands?
I've actually got lucky. I guess we were surrounded by some decent people. Everyone was really cool. It was a big, like, everyone around us was there to celebrate their birthday, including myself. So that was really cool.
I love it. There we
Yeah.
go.
As far as this fight goes, I honestly don't remember it that much. I think if we're looking at the stats, obviously Ozzy got more of everything, but you can't really go by stats. Like, the judges don't go by the stats, they go by how everything looks, you know? So I honestly don't remember what happened, but I believe that Santos won in the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with you, obviously. And like you said, it's not necessarily based on the overall stats. It's based on round by round, too. Right? And that's why I was saying I thought one man obviously won 2 rounds. And Ozzy made up some ground in that last round. Let's just call a spade here. But Miss Mary, what were your thoughts on the fight?
Honestly, I'm kind of with Sav on this one. I didn't feel like it was highly technical. That was literally the only thing I had written down for this one, was that it wasn't highly technical, but there was a solid back and forth between the two. Nothing really kind of stuck out to me about the fight, to be honest.
Fair. It was definitely not fight of the night, and there is a reason for that. And shout out Leroy in the chat. Happy birthday, Sav. That flask was working overtime from the first bell. Yeah, it was.
I drank more that day than I've drank in the last, 10 years, which isn't a lot. I don't drink, but I drank
Pretty
that
much
night.
the same thing everybody says the first time they meet Olin.
The first time they hang out with the MMA anomaly, they find out why they call me the MMA anomaly. Yeah, it was a great time. It was definitely a great time. My first question of the night is for Sav. How did you land on jelly over marmalade and or jam? Sav jam would go pretty hard, I'm not going to lie.
That's funny. Well, I think because I have this little jellyfish, and the name just kind of got adopted at my gym. My coach was like, "Hey, jelly," and it just stuck from there.
I love it.
Yeah, don't be jelly, Dixon. Don't be jelly. We already have one of those here. And with that being said, I don't care to play matchmaker for this one, Nano. We're going to move into the next fight. It's a featherweight bout between Mairon Santos and Francis Fire Marshall.
Robbery.
Yeah. Sav, sounds like you're ready to take the lead on this one. Let's hear it.
Oh, pressure. Holy guacamole. Santos, he wasn't there the entire time. I'm not prepared. Pressure.
No worries. We'll go ahead and jump in. So
I got you.
Come back to me.
I got
So
you.
look, Mairon
I'm having
Santos,
difficulties.
definitely, in my opinion, like you said, he just wasn't there. And if you scored on a round per round basis, I don't know, man. I thought Fire Marshall racked up control time. I thought he looked like the better fighter. And mind you, folks, I bet against Fire Marshall. I bet on Santos.
I had Santos also.
Like, I had Santos. I had Santos squared in this one. And I thought this Santos simply lost. I'll leave it at that. Nano, I know you got to take.
I do, my brother. I do. And I think Francis the Fire Marshal, it was a split decision. So we got to lead there. One of the judges did feel like Francis Marshall did do enough. Why the other two didn't, the world may never know. But when you're going round by round, I think you could definitely make a case that Mairon really, and numbers aside, I think Francis came out that first round with a much more aggression, was much more active, trying to get those takedowns, landing more strikes overall. Just seemed like the busier fighter in that first round. Myron's kind of getting, his sea legs under him, for lack of a better phrase. And then that second round, Francis was able to land two of his 2 attempted takedowns, on top of not having too far of a differential from a striking perspective. So that already, in theory, and to us guys that bet on Mr. Santos, I know I did as well, definitely was sitting there thinking, man, Francis is running away with this. He may need a knockout in this third. And I felt like we kind of saw a little bit of that. You saw some flurries. You saw Mairon step on the gas pedal a little bit. But in my opinion, I felt like it was a little too late. I thought the Fire Marshal got rid of that fire, controlled it, tarped it, whatever other fire references I could try to make. I thought he did enough in those first 2 rounds to get the victory, but it's not the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. So keep on keeping on. But this Mairon Santos guy, he's getting all the hype, right? I mean, he was on the Dana White Contender Series. He was on the Embedded. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. They're trying to hype this kid up, but good razor thin victory for Mairon Santos. And no stock loss for me when it comes to the fire Francis Marshall.
Hell yeah. Miss Mary?
So I know like a lot of us felt like it was a robbery, but did you guys go back and watch the highlights at all and take a look at it? Because this is one of the ones I went back and watched. And I think Marshall ended up having like a lot of the bigger moments. But Santos was doing like what it takes to score. And that's what wins at the end of the day, right? That's why you don't leave it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah. I mean, he did on paper, he outlanded his opponent by just under 20 when it comes to significant strikes. And I mean, just about as many on total strikes. In fact, the only place where Francis Fire Marshall outlanded him or outworked him was in terms of the grappling, right? So, yeah, it's a hot take, but a good take. And with that, last but certainly not least, you asked for us to come back to you, so here we are.
Yeah, I think Marshall just looked a lot more aggressive. You know, I guess Santos technically did get more of the action, you know, get more points added up, but I disagree. I think Marshall was a lot more damaging.
I agree. Look, this is another one I honestly don't care to play matchmaker for. This guy's still so fresh in his career. But before we jump into the next one, let's go ahead and jump into the comments here. Dixon Sider. UFC is heavily invested in Mairon Santos and his story. Got cameras following him for a documentary. He was never going to lose this fight. And guess who this week is in the same position? Dubin from Dana White's Contender Series. The trend is your friend until the end. Ooh!
Bars.
Wow!
Bars.
My goodness. Jeez! Dixon Sider came spitting fire tonight. Oh, man. Sprinkle Dubin split decision. Split decision? Bold.
Can you do that?
Bold. We might have to do that. That might be a money move. Yeah, he says whenever the line comes out. So we will definitely have to check that out whenever that line does come out. And with that being said, we move into arguably the saddest fight of the night for me. It was a welterweight bout contested between Alex Mairon, a.k.a. Victor Zsasz. If you watch Batman or read the comics, if you watch Gotham, I should say, he looks just like the actor that plays that guy. He came in against Carlos Leal, or as we like to call him, Connect the Dots. Man, that guy's strong. That boy's strong. I don't really know what else to say. Like, look, I was there. I saw the fight. I witnessed the fight. I heard the sounds the strikes were making when they were bouncing off of the head of Alex Mairon. I don't remember 81 of them, though. That fight felt like it was like 45 seconds. The fight lasted over 4 minutes. Dude, just literally, it's like as soon as the fight started, they just like Alt F forward or like deleted the fucking brake pedal and he was all gas, bro. It was tough. But in the same vein, he landed 81 shots, 79 of them considered significant, by the way. Alex Mairon landed 41 of his own, with 40 of those being considered significant shots. So, I mean, he was in there against a very obviously stronger man. And he was still throwing gosh darn haymakers until he couldn't throw anymore, brother. So, he, as always, keeps my respect. He's earned it a long, long time ago. And I don't mind that being the first shot we do on the show tonight, folks. I'm going to go ahead and pour it up. Nano, while we pour ours up, let us hear it, brother.
Yep, I'm one step ahead of you, my brother, because this one hurt me as well. Hurt the checkbook a little bit. But to your point, I think it felt really quick because, I mean, it was about 3 minutes of just watching Alex Mairon get his absolute butt handed to him. I mean, this guy, Carlos Leal, started hitting him with some shots that essentially put Alex Mairon in deep water, to use a great reference there. And it was not pretty. I mean, to keep on with the animal theme here, I mean, he was like a great white out of water. Okay, he was a fish out of water in this one. To keep it going even further, I'm going to take a trip to the Saharan desert. I mean, this guy, I felt like I was watching a gazelle just get cornered by a hyena. And that little hyena is Carlos Leal, big old bag, kind of gangly. And he was just stalking his prey. And boy, I mean, only a great white shark can take that many blows. I mean, that was absolutely disgusting. Carlos Leal's the truth. I'm going to happily do my shot. He earned a fan in your boy. The Jive Turkey loves me, a man that could go out there, flex those biceps, take care of business, eat great white fin sharks for breakfast. Oh, this guy's good. And honestly, I mean, in terms of what's next for the kid, like when I'm looking at the landscape here of the welterweight division, boy, is it wide open. There's a lot of fun names towards the top. I don't think we're going to take him that high yet. But man, I mean, Alex Morono is a solid name, kind of a staple in the division. I don't know if I'd hate to serve him up to the Celtic Kid, but someone like a Jake Matthews coming off back-to-back wins. They're both young, both looking to make a name, try to take that next step up. That may be the move, but man, my shots poured up. We saw a butt whooping. The great white shark is no longer the alpha predator in the kingdom. SavJelly, were you just as did you see this happening? Or, were you familiar with Carlos Leal? Or did you think that the great white had a little bit more bite in him?
I was on Morono's side. I've been a fan of Morono for years. He used to be a very big problem in the division, but he hasn't been doing so well. But I was still rooting for him. And then Leal, who did he fight? This was his second fight in the UFC. He just fought Fakhretdinov and got horribly robbed. So I think he learned his lesson to not let his fights go to decision anymore. So I'm really looking forward to what's to come of him now. He knows better.
Learn his lesson.
Lessons were learned.
And I can't believe I called him a hyena real quick. I called him a hyena. His nickname's the Lion. I totally missed that. That was a layup. I don't know how I missed it. There it is. New king of the jungle.
All right, Miss Mary.
Oh, I didn't do it with y'all.
Oh, did we take our shot?
We haven't taken it yet.
Are we doing
No.
this?
Boom. Let's do it. Cheers, folks.
It's
if
time.
you do shots, raise one up with us. If you don't, take a sip of water or something.
Sparkling water.
Either way, sparkling water, like our girl to the right here, SavJelly. Either way, we appreciate you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications, all that stuff, and enjoy your shot, folks. Cheers to us.
Cheers, mate.
Salute.
That burned.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that crispy bite of carbonation.
So I think the only thing you guys haven't said already is steroids, ? Are we
got some
talking about that?
biceps.
Are we not talking about that?
I mean, I did say, as we like to call him on the show, connect the dots. That is because of the back knee that he has from the steroids. Yeah, Carlos Leal is definitely on some gear. I think, come on. Like, it's tough to argue. Now, Nano, I do have two names on the tip of my tongue here. And I don't know that either of them are ready for the smoke. Or rather, I think one of them would smoke Leal, and the other one I don't think would want the fight. We got Jeremiah Wells, who does not have a fight lined up. And then we got one of my favorites currently, but he's on a bit of a skid right now. Not a skid, just a one-fight skid, right? And it's to a freaking boss, right? You know I'm talking about Atemba, the answer, Garimbo. No, what do you think of that?
Ooh, I like them both, brother. I think those are both good names, notable names, guys that are tough. Someone like Atemba coming off a win, he's hungry, right? And Carlos, and the last two, he has a loss as well. So I don't think there's some streak or you need to kind of launch him up into the stratosphere. I like both those names. Themba might give him some work, though. I'll tell you that much.
That's the name I was saying I thought would probably smoke him under the table, brother. I thought he'd probably put that work in. But, the other one, Jeremiah Wells, I'm just not so sure is the guy.
Is that
But
the Battle of the Roids or what? Battle of the Bodybuilders? Is that
you know what?
Is that what you're thinking there?
That's literally why I picked him. I thought that it would be a great play because, both guys are a little bit on the gear. I don't know. Sav, did you have a name on the tip of your tongue here?
I don't, honestly, for this one. Those sound great. I would love to see Garimbo fighting.
I'd love to see Garimbo as well. That's the one that I'd rather have. Miss Mary, did you have a name?
I'm with Sav on this one.
Perfect. Dixon Sider threw up a comment that said, Morono was on my banned list after the stunt he pulled versus Nico Price. However, I gave him one more chance by betting Leal KO 2 and 3. And this bum couldn't survive out of round 1. I never want to see Alex again, he said. Jesus, Dixon.
Brutal.
So I actually blame you for this. You jinxed this whole thing. Oh, man. Dixon Sider said, I hope Timba sleeps Morono. I can't even read the rest of that. Jesus Christ. Crossover. Excited. What's up? It's a full crew tonight. What's up, chat? What is up, Crossover, folks? If you're not already subscribed to this, man, make sure you drop on over to @Crossover MMA and hit that subscribe button, folks. He's an absolute legend. And I truly do mean that in a good Christian way. Brother, I read the first half of that comment, and I know for a fact that that's physically impossible. What even is happening? Oh, my gosh. All right. And with that, we move into the next fight. We had Brunno Ferreira, the Hulk, coming in against Armen Petrosyan. Look, this fight went differently than I thought it was going to. And I'm glad we didn't put a shot on it because I would be doing another one right away right now. I thought Armen Petrosyan was going to come out here and put that work in. The guy looked really freaking good in there against a Tekken character in his last bout, right? And you already know what Tekken character I'm talking about here in Sharabutin Magomedov. So, look, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to. I thought Brunno Ferreira was going to come out here and make it a striker's delight, and he simply didn't. He attempted 7 takedowns. Nano? Freaking 7?
It's a lot.
Brother, that's a lot. This dude's been watching Marab tape or something. What was happening out there? What's happening? It was crazy, bro. Crossover MMA said he picked Ferreira, but wasn't expecting a sub. Brother, I was wrong on my pick because I picked Armen, and let me tell you, I wasn't even upset about it after seeing how it went down. So, yeah, color me surprised. Consider me wrong. He was losing the fight, though. I think we can admit that. He was getting outstruck. He was getting outworked. And then he simply was able to pull off the submission ultimately in the end. I don't know if anything stood out to you that really shocked you or surprised you about him, other than the fact that now he has a submission game, a heavy submission game here.
I guess that's really it, right? I mean, given the fact that he's Brazilian, you almost assume that he has some sort of jiu-jitsu in his arsenal. But, man, I think the thing that stood out to me was how good Armen Petrosyan did look, my brother. I mean, he was sharp. He was attacking so much so that he hit my boy in the the family jewels, which you hate to see. But he was active. He was trying to hurt the man, even if it was a low blow, accidentally, of course. But the other thing with Brunno, and I knew this coming in, is this guy's tough as nails. Like, you got to go in there with a baseball bat to get him out of there. And so I was confident that he could weather the storm. He's got great movement. He's a great athlete. And that low center of gravity, stocky, it all complements well, right? He's in there against a 6'3" Armen Petrosyan, able to cut him in half. Obviously, that was part of his game plan, right? You don't just casually try to tackle your opponent 7 times unless you see something. You're trying to get him there. You're trying to expose him. Maybe there was something in tape they saw that they knew that they could get him on the ground, because that clearly was the case. But I would also say that Armen Petrosyan was putting some hands and some knees and shoulders, heads and toes. He was touching up my boy Brunno. But he's tough, man. He's tough. You don't talk about Brunno. Actually, we are going to talk about Brunno. I love Brunno. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. I'm rooting for him. I was a huge win over a tough opponent there from Philly. I don't know what's next, though, man. I don't know what's next. I mean, I want to give this guy a ranked opponent, but it's a little thick at the top, man. It's, high class. You got to know somebody. You got to rub some shoulders. You got to kiss some babies. I don't know if he's there yet, but maybe Petrosian's partner there, Andre Petroski, maybe somebody. He's ranked right ahead of him, 13-3 versus 13-2 record. There's also another guy out there that he's coming off 3 losses, but he's also ranked 30th. And I'm talking about our boy, Paul Craig.
Paul Craig!
I just want to see Brunno fight, baby. I just want to see him fight, man. That's it.
I had a different name on the tip of my tongue. I had a Magomed Sharabutin Sharipov. Look, dude. Shara Bullet, you know what I'm saying? The bullet. That's the guy. He's coming off a decision loss to Michael Venom Page. His last win was over the same dude that just beat this dude. So Armen Petrosian is kind of the catalyst that brings these two together. The rule of 3. I know a guy who knows a guy that should fight a guy.
I just thought I read something after Sharbul's last fight that that whole health condition or that scare, it was something that was going to prevent him from fighting again. I could be wrong.
Oh.
But there was something
that
was
wrong.
it was a legitimate. I'm doing a quick Google search here.
If that's the case, I'm not mad at your pick at all. And I'm already not mad at your pick. I think Andre Petroski and him, they match up pretty well. They're also right next to each other in the rankings. According to Tapology, they're sitting at 29 and 28. Outside of that, you want to really give this man a test. Maybe you put him in there against a Bo Nickel who's looking for an opponent. But at the same time, I don't think Bo's willing to fight down. So you'd have to go to someone who's a little bit more game bred, right? Like a Chris Action Man Curtis or Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. Before we take
Chris Curtis,
before we take all the meat off the bone here, Miss Mary, do you have anything for this one?
Has Sav already gone?
No, Sav, you want to go ahead?
Y'all did fantastic. All I got to say is Brunno Ferreira is one of my favorite fighters because he's never gone to decision. His fights are always fun.
He's allergic to boring fights.
Yeah, and I think him versus Shara would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. I hope Nano's wrong about the health condition. I hope that Shara Bullet is okay, and I hope that we get to see another Shara Bullet fight soon.
I think they're good. I think they were just scared of that condition and everything being sick and all that. But the man has one eye, so I don't know. We'll find out what happens. But I'd love to see it as well. He's a dog.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad that you were wrong then. Miss Mare, what you got?
I got nothing on this one. But is the next one Van?
Well, the next one is Van.
Can I start that one off?
Oh, let's go. Folks, we have a fight between Joshua Van and Ray Saruya in the flyweight division. And while I pour up my shot, Miss Mary is just going to shit on my hopes and dreams right now in her breakdown of how Ray Saruya did. Let's hear it.
I don't have much to say, but honestly, I feel like this was played by Saruya the same way I would play a fighting game I've never played before.
Fucking jeez.
I just spam the same button over and over. So I know the entire world is super upset about, how maybe the main card went or the female fight. This was the most disappointing fight for me. I expected more out of these two people together. So I just wanted to start off with that. But go ahead. Take over.
She may or may not have watched me put a bet on there. It was an insured bet. So it was literally the first time with the sports book up to $250. You get that $250 deposited back into your account. And I had us put the whole 250 on Saruya. May have been a mistake, folks. It was actually a 2-leg parlay. So fun fact. It was Gaethje at dog odds and Saruya at dog odds. Turns out Vegas did get one of those right. And it was the Saruya one.
But yes, on what Crossover said.
Oh, man. Van's takedown defense was immaculate.
Yes, absolutely.
Facts, Crossover. Always spitting facts in the chat. 21 takedown attempts. Talk about someone who's watched some Merab Dvalishvili tape, right? 21 takedowns attempted in this one. Just disgusting work. And only 4 of those landed. And even when the 4 did land, not a lot of control there, folks.
This fight, sorry to jump in again.
Yeah, no, please
this fight
do.
actually has me excited to see Van again because I feel like he didn't really let loose in this one because of the constant takedown defense. So I'm excited to see him fight again and see what else he has that I didn't see.
I agree.
Well said, Miss Mary. I love it. And yeah, the thing with Joshua, I mean, you may not have to wait too long. This guy fights like every other fight card. Literally, I think it was 5 or 6 times in the last 15 months. So we're getting a steady dose of our boy Joshua Van, and he's young. He's 23, I think 22. He's still on his parents' insurance for another decade. Come on, man. Come on. This was
It's the first fight in history where both competitors were born after the year 2000.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting old, folks.
I'm old. Yep, that hit me like a ton of bricks. My gosh. But we were talking about Homeboy attempted 9 takedowns earlier. Do you want to let the people know how many your boy attempted?
Brother, it was 21. He went 4 for 21.
4 for 21.
4 for 21. And my shot's poured whenever you're ready, bro.
I'm right there with you.
I mean,
brother.
if you want, you can. You don't have to. I'm not going to pressure you to. I already talked you into making that bet. You shouldn't have to lose twice.
This is for the gents. You know, we're riding high on Ray, and
happy.
I think
we're happy.
I don't think we have to say much more than just crossovers. His comment, right? I mean, Van's takedown defense was really the narrative. We knew he has hands, but we figured Ray was eventually going to be able to land home. That was not the case. Leroy, he says, Van showed levels to this. Ray definitely learned a lot, though. I'd agree. Both these guys
I still
are
stand
young.
on business, bro. Ray is a future champion. I will die on that hill.
Not everyone could be Khabib, right? Not everyone could be undefeated and just be picture perfect. This will be a great learning lesson for him. I think he's really got to develop those hands. I don't know what's up with the cornrows, too. This guy's looking like Exhibit or something. I didn't like the choice for the cornrows, but other than that, he's going to be fine. He's going to be great. I think he does need to go get some boxing lessons, though. He needs to be able to chain that together or go out to Muay Thai.
Tiger Muay Thai or AKA.
Exactly.
AKA would be the perfect camp for him because of the way that they incorporate grappling with striking. You imagine him training with fucking Islam? Good Lord.
Sheesh.
It would be so bad. Like, honestly, the only reason I don't think that would happen is because they've already got a Dagestani flyweight, right? Like,
doesn't make sense.
They don't want to train a guy to beat their guy. And if they train Saruya, I'm going to smash your guy. It's gonna be fun.
He's a hell of an athlete. He'll learn and he'll continue to get better.
The only reason Mary agreed with me on betting with him is because she looked up a picture of him and she's like, oh yeah, this is the guy that like looks like he would murder you in a dark alley. He's like, there's not an ounce of fat on this kid. He looks terrifying. And with that being said, Sav, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, did you see him at the face-offs and stuff? Like, he just had that look to him. He had that energy. But like, I don't think you were wrong in betting on him. Like, he's been pretty dominant. He was really dominant in Road to UFC, and in his first last fight in the UFC, he made a dominant decision in that one. But who was it that said that? Leroy? Like, Van just showed levels to it.
Yeah.
You were wrong in
And I mean,
that bet. It just didn't work out. Like, he learned
Tell him, SavJelly. Tell him.
I'm telling you, man, Joshua Van is just he's a real problem.
Do you think he's
real
ready
problem.
for the top 15? I guess that's the big question here. Let us know in the chat. Is he ready? Should we feed him to another? Oh God, I hope he's Japanese. Another guy in the top 14. You're talking about Kai Asakura.
He is Japanese. He's a star in Japan. You knocked it out of the park with that one. That's great. A little Japan on Japan violence there. I'm not against it. We know Asakura is looking for a little bounce back after getting fed. Did he get fed to the top 15? They're like, welcome to the UFC. Here's a championship fight against an undisputed champion. Good luck, kid. Like, by the way, I bet on that guy too. I think I may just have watched too much anime growing up because I always happen to bet on the hot new Japanese fighter. I think I've got a problem. I just realized it right now. Thanks, Nano. Let's do this shot so I forget about that. So I can bet on the next one.
Let's go.
Nano, you want to do the cheers this time?
I will. If you're listening to this, raise one up, regardless of what's inside. All that matters is what's on the inside of you, okay? Stay golden, pony boy. Salute. And I want to throw this out there because Dixon Sider just said Josh Van from Vans Refrigeration. All I want to say is, got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. Got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. That's all I got to say.
Nano's boot glass is fucking amazing. Where do I get them? Well, we won't send you the link for that, but we actually are going to make a bootleg version. And we'll send you the link to that. You can probably pick that up later tonight at the MMAnomaly store.
Midnight drop.
Boom.
It is Cancun, though, for the record. Cancun, Cabo, anything in Mexico, Leroy, you will find some boots and some shot glasses galore.
The man's not lying, and let me tell you, he never does. He never does. Nano's boot glass low-key looks like an asthma inhaler. No, that's Miss Mary's boot glass. I know, I thought so.
Asthma's a disability jerk.
Fuck you.
Too soon.
Way to make fun of somebody with a disability, jerk.
Low blow. Moving on.
Moving on. Yeah, look. I've got names. Other than the name that you threw out, there's another name that comes to mind, Nano. Tatsuro Taira, and thank you for doing the laugh right as John Anik did. It was honestly right on cue. It was perfect.
They got me. It was genuine.
Brother, Tatsuro Taira. I'm looking for that guy to bounce back. And as much as I don't want to see him lose, I think that'd be a great matchup for both dudes. Sav, do you have a name on the tip of your tongue? Or what are you thinking? I can't hear you. We're going to come back to SavJelly on this one, folks. Response loading.
2 hours later.
Dude, Mary used that quote like 3 times this weekend.
Great reference. Shout out.
The first time was 2 hours later. The second time, I think, was 1 eternity later. All right, we're going to check in on SavJelly here.
La la la.
La la
Yes,
la.
success.
La la la. Okay. Where were we?
La 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 la.
That's a great soundtrack.
We can hear you now. La 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 la
La
la.
la la.
So yeah, who do you think should be next for young Joshua Van in the flyweight division?
Crossover, thank you. I'm gonna get here one day. I'll be better one day. I guess I like Tyra for it. But he might be a little too high ranked. I'm really not sure.
It's very nice of you to say it like that, SavJelly. Just tell him he's wrong, man. What you doing, man? Quit being crazy. Quit being crazy right now. No, but when you look at everyone below him too, there are a lot of exciting matchups. I mean, and that's the best part about it here. I think whoever Joshua Van gets paired up with next, we're all going to be winners. He has nothing short of a good fight. It's stacked. Even someone like a Tagir Ulanbekov just like pops out at me as well. Smash a like. Shout out Juice Man 562 with the Easy E picture. My brother, that is clean. That is so fresh.
Bro, if you don't know Juice Man, I mean, this is like Dana White's If You Don't Know, Now You Know. You better make sure you follow that man. Juice Man 562 is definitely a legend, folks. And Leroy, fucking Cancun. I should have guessed. Yeah, you should have. Gonna be some expensive shot glasses. Yeah, dude, everything in Cancun's too damn expensive.
And what happens in Cancun does not stay in Cancun.
No,
So just heads up on
what happens in Cancun does not stay in Cancun. She's talking about STDs and things of the sort, folks.
Sick.
It's like Vegas, you know? The secrets, they're there to stay. No other stuff. There's some medicine that just can't treat. With that being said.
Like an empty wallet from the freaking tables. I digress.
Brother. You know, I actually, while we were in Vegas this time, we were talking right before we left. It was the first time I've ever been to Vegas that I didn't put a single dollar into a slot machine or a table. But I still walked out up because I bet on Magomed Ankalaev. So
Let's go.
And Gaethje, you know we had to do it to him, baby. Brother, win in Vegas. I mean, if I'm not going to do it one way, I will another. Speaking of doing it one way or another, Dixon Sider said Taira will strangle Van unconscious because he won't tap. If he doesn't KO him on the feet like he did Carlos Hernandez, Pillowhand CJ Skullet Gang slapped him. Said Taira can absolutely do it as well. Hey, we don't do energy slander here, okay? Charles Johnson's the fucking man. And not everybody has knockout power. Like me and Miss Mary were talking about this literally right before the show. Some people are gifted with a God-given innate ability to just do the damn thing with them hands or them legs. Like they just got that power. Speaking of somebody who is gifted with that innate ability, that was just a perfect timing for a segue into the fight we were actually having this very conversation about. And it is a lightweight bout between King Green and Mauricio Rufy. Now, listen here, folks. Listen here. Miss Mary brought up to me that, like, some people see things differently, right? And the original conversation was literally about work. And then from there, we transitioned into, like, that Mauricio Rufy guy. And by we, I mean her. She transitioned into that. And when she said it, I was like, you know, you're right. Because in that fight, watching it live, I don't know if it looked different on TV, but King Green actually looked to be a little bit faster. The twitch movement, like he's really, really smart. And he's really slick. And then you have somebody like Rufy that, best thing about him might be his freaking eyes, even when he's not wearing those nerd glasses. Because he sees things very, very differently. He sees them in an expert light. And the way that he's able to capitalize on them, like, look, he twitched the jab out, and then he throws a left hook. And as he's throwing that left hook, continues to spin as Bobby drops his hands. He's like, cool. He drops his hands and backs out. He read the tail, which I've said this about Bobby. It's the same reason fucking DP knocked him out. Me and you have had this conversation while intoxicated heavily, Nano. Like, King Green drops his hands and moves his head back. And it works for him 90% of the time. But what happens that 10% of the time when someone makes the read and says, oh, you know what would reach? My fucking leg. So that's what happened with Mauricio Rufy. He made the read and he was setting it up. He was setting it up throughout the fight. He'd throw a couple of feints and he'd watch Bobby Green just slide out of the way, which it's elegant. It's beautiful. He does it so well, right? But I digress. Sometimes someone's going to make that read. They're going to box you in against the cage where you run out of space. And then, whoop, they spin around and just whack you with the back of their freaking heel in your noggin, in your dome. And that's what happened. Mauricio Rufy just is so freaking incredible with the eyes. And speaking of incredible, incredible people, Lane is in the chat, folks. Rufy is him. Lane, you are them. Let's freaking go. Juice Man, let's see. I was telling S-Dog and Val earlier, sad to see Green go, but Rufy executed that KO beautifully. It's tough to be mad at something that's so damn pretty. My goodness. As Miss Mary just whispered under her breath, it was perfect. It really was. Matua, oh shit, full house. We did it because we knew you were going to show up tonight in the chat. We had to make sure that you were excited to see us all. Leroy, Juice Man, 562, 100, mate. But Bobby's a real one. Live by it, die by it. Brother, live by the sword, die by the sword is definitely the only way that man knows how to do either of the two. Lane, Olin, Sav, Nano, Cross, Leroy. Bro, we got everybody in the chat right now. Crossover, Green won't ever be the same after the Turner finish. Oh, brother. You're not wrong. The Jalin Turner finish is something that I'll go back and watch if I think I'm having a bad day, you know? Just to show myself that it can always get worse. That was the worst of times, seeing that late stoppage. So we're going to go ahead and go to SavJelly here first on this one. Let us know what you thought of this Rufy knockout.
Oh my God. if you guys missed out, this was my first live event ever. That was insane to see live. To just watch Bobby Green, King Green, just crumble to his face. Oh my gosh. Insane. And I had Roofy, but King Green's just never been one that you could count out. Like, you just never know with him. And that's about all I got. Roofy got it done, and that just, oh my God, I can't believe I got to see that happen live.
I think just like the fighting nerds, like the 4 horsemen of the fighting nerds have been so impressive, right? Like every week I feel like we're talking about a different one. And seeing how comfortable he was in the ring was amazing to me, right? Like how confident he was. It was super impressive. And then like left hook to wheel kick. I mean, I know I'm kind of more on the casual side than you guys, but that's super impressive, right?
Yeah,
like
no, that was beautiful.
Who does that? Contender for knockout of the year, possibly. I don't know already. I know it's like March. I'll let Nano go next, but I am interested on who you guys are going to say for next for him.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Miss Mary. And yeah, SavJelly, I mean, you got to witness it and you get to feel it, right? Like the type of reaction, like that and like the eruption of the crowd. I mean, I was at a club in Scottsdale. We're all watching it on this big projector outside, and everyone had the same reaction. And I'm going around, oh my God, the left hook. Did you see that setup? Look at his foot, it's turned. Like everything about it. I mean, he's special. Like, I mean, I would just leave it there. He's fucking special. He's extremely talented. And we talk about those fighting nerds, right? All those motherfuckers are just dogs, okay? And now Kai Brallo, one of those guys, the biggest one, like Big Bro, comes out and publicly states, like, no, Mauricio is the best fighter I've ever seen, period. And he's continuing to show it, right? I mean, people would try to, like, talk about the blemish with, his last fight. Just because he's not knocking everyone out doesn't mean he's not a fucking special talent. So I do.
The guy outweighed him by 16 fucking pounds.
Yeah, and he had a Uzi on his face. The guy means business. So not everyone is, Bobby King Green, 38 years old. And let's be honest, I mean, he didn't look in the best shape. I mean, he's not 28. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Man, I mean, he's I don't know what else. I just want to keep giving Mauricio his flowers. Like, he has arrived. He is him. And he called for, which I think is smart too, he called for a Apex main event or main card. I don't know if it's main event or main card. I'm memory's not serving me now, but
Apex main event.
Main event. I think he's ready. I was going to say, I hope he said main event because that's
how you bridge the gap. If you can get an Apex main event and you do numbers on TV, then they're willing to give you either a third down slot or a co-main event in a big pay-per-view. And he just had his first time on a pay-per-view main card. Yep. And it's only because of the cancellations, realistically. So he's a smart kid, bro. The glasses are doing for him.
That was a really heads up play. And yeah, I mean, just to reference MsMary616, our CMO, our marketing champion here, it's smart marketing. Like that. How else are you going to prove to the company that you're worth the money if you could actually go out there and have a number associated with your name? Like, that's what the champs do. That's what the big names do. That's what Conor was doing. And he gets a lot of those praises, or I guess comparisons, right, to Conor back in the day. They're both 27, just a savant with the striking and just next level. I mean, I would just say Mauricio is Mauricio. Like, I don't love those Conor comparisons. I think just because of the same age, it doesn't mean much. That's your prime.
I don't know if you just saw that reaction.
Yeah, that's why I waited.
She literally sighed because I had this conversation with her on the drive home. I said, I can't wait till we stop hearing people say he's the second coming of Conor McGregor. And I think if he's a smart businessman and he believes in himself the way that I believe in him and the way that I think a lot of fans believe in him, he'll start restructuring that conversation and saying, I'm not the second coming of Conor McGregor. I'm the first coming of Mauricio Rufy.
Exactly.
Because he's different. And I truly think that he has potential to be way better.
And we were talking about people earlier. Maybe Miss Mary said it about someone looked like someone that could murder people, or like a hitman. I'm pretty sure Mauricio was a hitman for a Chinese billionaire or something like that.
Would not be surprised.
I saw something on Instagram that he like that's what he was doing before. He was like a Secret Service agent for like a very wealthy billionaire Chinese man. So
Makes sense.
he's special ops type stuff. I'm telling you, man. And maybe a good segue. Maybe that's why you lace him up in there with a Benoit Saint Denis.
I love it.
But that might be too conservative, my brother.
That's one of my 3 names.
Hey, there we go. We're in sync. Simpatico, my brother.
Let's
Never
hear it.
missing a
Keep
beat.
going.
Okay, I will. But the other one, honestly, I think like the one I truly would want to see is Renato Money Moicano against Mauricio Hoofy. Oh,
That's
my God.
early, bro. That's hella early, dog.
Too soon?
His last fight was against Islam. What are you doing?
Oh, I know.
What are you doing, bro?
If he does need more time, okay, I got a third. If he does need more time, this is a guy that has been on a Fight Night main event, and we're talking KGD. We're talking Grant Dawson. So maybe that's a good happy medium.
He was on my short list. He was number 4 on my list. So I have like my mainstay list, and I've got my short list here.
Well, don't keep us waiting all night, baby. Lay it on us.
Brother. I had Benny St. Denis on there.
That's
I had
right.
Ignacio Bahamondes on there because obviously trajectory-wise lines up, timeline lines up. They both just fought. I don't know if you know this or not, but they did. And then the other one, my number 1, is a man who's all about killing smiles. Talking about the smile killer for Ross Zayam. Brother,
That's a banger.
that's a fucking banger, dude.
The striking that we'll see is
Literally just like injected into my veins, bro.
and
that's the one I want.
The top 15 eliminator, let's call it, or contender fight, right? Like
Whoever wins
that'll
that
be the
fight
one.
doesn't break into the top 15. They break into almost damn near the top 10, bro. Like you got to put them at like
Well said.
11 or 12 at that point. Like that's a contender fight.
And they're that good. It's deserving. We're not just hyping these dudes up. Like they've proven they are good. Put on the table.
So he called out Benil, and none of you guys mentioned Benil. So why would he say Benil's name?
Because
We met
Benil's ranked
Benil.
top 10.
I know. I don't want to. But
But I feel
we
like
met
that's a
Benil.
less exciting fight than anybody else you guys.
Okay,
By
so
far,
so
by far.
the reason he
Right?
called him out is because we've yet to see him fight somebody that's very grappling heavy that also has the nuclear option. And Benil somehow brings both of those to the table. We've seen him do the spinning back fist simply because his nephew told him to. And it got one of the craziest reactions we've ever seen against Drakkar Close. And we've also seen him just grapple fuck people into oblivion. Right? So
Benil
like,
could
I don't
be
know.
good. Yeah. Well, and it's like that could be a good pairing because Benil hasn't fought since December 2nd of 2023.
Well, he had that canceled fight. He was supposed to
I was gonna say,
fight
I know he-
Money
yeah.
Moicano at 311.
Oh, I get. Well, it wasn't can't. I mean, their fight wasn't
no.
canceled.
The main
Money
event pulled
Moicano
out.
Took,
Moicano took Money. Moicano took money, bro. What do you want him to do?
So that's the
What
thing. It
did they
wasn't
do?
like he got hurt or his opponent got hurt. It was just a super weird circumstance that he had to. Well, actually, the last guy he lost to, Arman Sarukian, was the catalyst of all this. So double whammy. Arman beat him, and then he prevented him from fighting. So what the heck, man? He lost him twice. But that scares me a little bit with Benil. He's getting older. You have that number by you. I'm assuming he would want to get in as soon as possible, which makes sense to go see him fight Mauricio sooner than later.
Crossover wants to see Roofy versus BSD, Benny St. Denis, top 15 guy. I'm not mad at it. Juiceman giving it the thumbs up of approval. We love to see that from Juiceman. Leroy saying crossover MMA too far backwards for BSD, unfortunately. I disagree. He said, but that would be a great fight or test for Roofy. I think it'd be a great test for Roofy. And I disagree with you here, Leroy, which doesn't happen very often. We're usually hive-minding, my friend. But I don't think it's too far backwards for BSD. BSD is coming on 2 fights loss in a row. So he's looking for a gimme. He's looking for a bounce back. And if you offer him someone that's not top 10, he's probably chomping at the bit for that because it hasn't gone well for him fighting up the last couple times. Not trying to be a dick. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Call it out, baby.
Yeah.
We
Like, if it's
gotta-
me, like I want a gimme. And not that I fucking think Ruby's a gimme, but with all due respect, if I can't beat somebody outside of the top 15, and I used to like be literally an assassin in a fucking army, it might be time to go back to the army.
maybe
or
reserve
potentially
army or something.
to like PFL or something, PFL Tour, whatever the hell they're calling it.
Or what's the other league? Because there was a comment in here that caught
One
my
championship. I'd love to see him in one championship.
What's the league that like everyone's getting drafted in? Why am I blanking on it?
Oh, GFL.
GFL.
Grandpa Fighting League.
We got it. Shout out Jock Director on Twitch. We got.
I'm sorry, it's too easy. Like they did that to themselves, calling it GFL, Grandpa Fighting League.
and he's throwing out, where does Kevin Lee fit in all this? I'm like, oh, GFL.
Oh
Good
my
segue.
god,
Oh
where
my
does
God.
Kevin Lee fit into all this?
Does not.
Jean is Lord might be the best comment of the night. Jean is Lord.
Dude, that press conference with him and Bryce Mitchell got me so hyped for that fight.
You're barking up the wrong tree, motherfucker.
That was a good line, though. I like
That
that.
line, bro.
That was good.
That's what my dad would say in response to that
Barking
situation.
up the wrong tree, motherfucker. Yeah.
Then my dad would have pulled out an actual gun. Oh man, this Ignacio versus Benil and Rufy versus BSD. Book it.
Okay,
Oh,
Yorel.
man.
I see you, Yorel.
Man.
Okay.
Leroy wanted to make it right with you.
Leroy, I mean, dude, I disagree with you once, and then you just start literally fucking dousing the place in gasoline and lighting everything on fire. My guy, spitting hot flames right now.
Super cute.
Sheesh. Yeah, don't flirt with me like that when Miss Mary's sitting right next to me. It's not appropriate.
I'm right here, dude.
She's right here, bro.
Have
Relax.
some respect, man. Have some respect.
Jeez Louise. Faziev was talking about going down to featherweight. I did see that, and we are going to go over that at the very end of the show. Make no mistake about it.
We'll talk about
Talk
it.
about it. You already know what it is. Speaking of which, folks, we've been talking about the opening fight of the main card for quite some time now. We got to move on. I was obviously just stalling because I do have to pour another shot for this one. It's as Metallica once said, you know it's sad but true. It really is. It really is. Lucindo. I actually have to scroll way up so I can display a comment for this one because it was honestly too good to skip.
Well, your comment was very funny at the fights because you said, oof, we went from roofie to roughy.
Oh, I did say that.
It was like podcast
Good
Olin
pun.
in real life.
That's exactly what you said when I said that.
Which Sav can now like say that she saw you dad jokes
That's
live.
exactly what I was saying. Like, this is him. Like, he's not different.
What you see is what you
off
get.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the drinking and constantly talking about MMA, being way too loud and way too excited.
Corny jokes. that
Corny
nobody
jokes.
laughs at.
This is literally
Dude, you guys were
Olin,
laughing.
24
You guys were
hours a
laughing.
day. His favorite thing was Sav rating Olin's dad jokes live. She was like, that was a 6 out of 10.
But then right after that, I literally hit a 7. Like, boom.
Oh, we're talking 7.
Instant improvement, brother. Let's go.
Sounds
I
bad,
found the
baby.
comment from Dix Insider here, folks. Thanks for killing the time, babe. Dix Insider said, bro, I had a cycle parlay of the week plus 5,000. It was 3 legs. Brunno sub. First of all, fuck you on that alone.
What the?
Roofy KO. I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. Do you watch MMA? That's a given. And Lucindo decision. So close.
I think he
This
was
is the
like
comment,
his
though.
picture was like
This is
that's
the comment,
that's
though.
his expression was his picture. And then oh no.
But no, this is the comment. I'm going to invite Yasmin Lucindo to my funeral so she can let me down one last time.
6 feet under. Well played. Dix Insider's got
Man.
some jokes now. This guy's ready.
My goodness.
for
Even 6
comedy
feet under,
tour.
I think that'd get a couple laughs. That was a good one. That was about 40 minutes ago that comment came in. So I had to scroll through like 800 comments, which is a compliment to you guys. Best fucking comments in the world. Best crowd in the world. Seriously love you guys. So
Ditto.
again, I'm stalling because I don't want to talk about this fight. It's a sad fight to talk about, folks. Yasmin Lucindo versus Amanda Lemos in the women's strawweight division. I mean, it was the most boring fight of the night. It was one of the only times where I thought to myself, fuck, Sterling's 100% right.
No.
What did Sterling say, right? About what?
He always talks shit about women's MMA.
Oh,
This was the stinker
Okay.
of the card.
oh gosh.
Come on. Again, sorry, bad jokes. We just went through this, guys.
It was rough. It was rough. Can I say that being live and not having any commentary for a fight like this was very weird because it was just like booze from beginning to end nonstop.
Really?
It was rough.
It really,
Any
it
chance or
really
anything?
was.
Oh.
No, there weren't any
None.
chants, but there were woo, which Sav started 3 times during that fight. I literally at that fight, I turned and looked at Mary and I was like, oh, we got a wooer.
Big woo gal.
Big woo energy.
I like me a good woo.
I mean, it was good. It was good. She liked the woos a lot better than me starting the Ankalaev chants with the other 4 people in the entire arena going for
Can you
Ankalaev.
imagine what
With
it's
their
like
shit
to
shoving-
sit in an arena, thousands and thousands of people, and I'm sitting next to the one guy cheering for Ankalaev.
It was rough. It was rough.
You did meet
It was rough for me
you
to
did meet
watch.
Alex Pajeda, didn't you? And Yuri? You got the pictures with them? How was that interaction?
With
SavJelly?
the Sheehan.
Let's go for that.
Let's go for that.
They're so cool. They
That's
have
badass.
they have it. Like they're good at what they do. It was funny.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, what
So
the
to
heck?
be fair to women's MMA, do we think it was just the matchup of these 2 women?
Oh, it was
that
1000%
made
the
for
matchup.
this
I'm
fight?
just being
'Cause, I mean,
facetious.
come on, we've had some great. I
Also
know it's
card
not
placement.
it's more rare.
Also, card placement. Card placement.
coming
huge.
right after that. Come on, like
I
that
think
was.
that's yeah.
With all due respect,
Disservice.
you did a Joshua Van fight against fucking anybody. And then you did King Green versus Roofy.
Yeah.
2 of the funnest strikers in the entire lightweight division of like not just today, but of all time, possibly. And then you're like, all right, chicks, good luck. Like,
Yeah. And,
what the fuck?
and
like,
styles make
and-
fights.
I was gonna say, and you put
unfortunately.
Lemos against Lucindo. Like Lucindo's a grappler.
Yeah, like it was
Lemos is a
kinda
striker,
new.
but
Oh my
Second
god!
one
Can we
strike
pull
with
up
that young
Dixon
girl.
Ciders?
can we
Or
pull
maybe
up
we
Dixon
don't wanna
Ciders?
pull up
Maybe we
Dixon
don't want to,
Ciders.
which is more of a reason to. The best part of this entire fight was when during the walkouts where Joe Rogan said, this young man has tremendous potential when referring to Yasmin Lucindo as the camera focused in on her. Dixon Cider, this card is the thing that keeps on giving because obviously we didn't hear that in attendance. But then, we wake up the next morning, sun a little bit extra bright because of the amount of alcohol we drank. And that was the second thing I saw on Twitter. And I am glad that I was already walking to the bathroom because otherwise I may have pissed myself laughing. That was fucking amazing.
So funny.
Now I want to know what the first thing was.
It wasn't anything that I can share on this show.
I do declare it.
Or at least in front of me.
Fair.
I can share.
Well, and it doesn't help that both these women have like better buzz. They have Olin's haircut. Both these women have Olin's haircut. I mean, so it doesn't help.
We have the same barber. Shout
Same
out,
barber.
Mikey.
So that doesn't help my boy Joe Rogan, okay? Dixon Cider, cut him some slack.
Oh, man.
That was rough, though. And I will say, all jokes aside.
From Roofy to
I
Ruffy.
just-
Leroy's comments hilarious.
Oh, gosh, where is he?
Landed by Mount Rushmore. Wait, that one?
Yeah, because it just has one person on it.
Oh, God.
Is that what you mean, Leroy? You literally just have one person on it.
It's what Mount Rushmore has Joanna and Chasing on it. That's it.
That's it.
Just that.
There's no other person.
Lane said
That's the
Rogan
Mount
called us into
Rushmore.
a fella. And Lane, honestly, I'm actually never going to disagree with you again.
Yeah.
Specifically when it comes to women's MMA. Bet over 2.5 rounds every time. If there's any statisticians in the chat right now, Leroy, I'm looking at you, brother. If you could pull up a stat of all women's strawweight fights, how many of them have gone over 2.5? I know you can't get historic odds on that, but if we could, I guarantee you we would be up at least $500,000, depending on the amount of units we've been fucking betting on it. Because statistically, I feel like at least 70 to 80% of them have gone over. And Lane is spitting just knowledge right now here. I know I have my shot poured up. I don't know who wants to start this fight off, but I don't even care to talk about it.
Wait, have we not even started talking about the fight?
That's
We
funny.
kind of did. We let the comments talk for
Can we
us.
wrap
but I
it
did have
up by saying
Can we wrap
it
it up?
literally
That's all
ended
there
it
is.
5 seconds
How about
early?
yeah? That's what I was.
I'm
gonna
doing
bring up.
ASMR bottle opening. I think we got to wrap it up.
No, did you hear that though? It ended 5 seconds early. Did you know that?
What did?
There were 5 seconds on the clock when they ended it.
Oh, are you
funny 'cause
serious?
That's how
I did not.
seeing their live, how they do like they do the clap at 10 seconds.
You're right,
And
right,
I
right.
thought it was really fast after that, and then they confirmed it. They did say that. John
You
Anderson
literally were
said
like
something
Sav looked over and was like, that was fast.
yeah, and then watching it back, John Anik even said, I guess even the commission was tired of this or something like that.
No. He said, I
Oh.
guess the commission's seen enough for a decision.
Yeah, the commission's seen enough. Yeah.
They've seen enough. Oh, that's the most
Terrible.
professionally fantastic joke I've ever heard. Oh
The
my
commission has
God.
seen enough to come to a conclusion on this one.
They didn't need a second more. Like, all right.
It was hilarious, bro. Like 5 seconds left. They're like, let's get him out of here. We're done here. What do we got next? Jalin Turner, Ignacio Bahamondes. That'll be better. Yeah, let's get him in there.
So can we put the running clock on there? Can we speed it up 1.25x? Come
Production's
on, let's,
panning out to the crowd like, we're losing them. We're losing them.
We're losing. We're going stale. Show the fighting nerds again. Here we go.
Yeah, can we
Show
just
the
like
nerds.
pan to the fighting nerds in the crowd? Is that when they showed the other one sparking up a joint in the crowd? Because that's the thing that happened.
Was Carlos? I thought Carlos was just smoking up his stogie. Was it a?
Oh no, that was a joint, bro. Zoom in.
maybe a spliff. Maybe it was a spliff. He might be a spliff guy.
It was one of them good goods. You zoom in.
Oh, nice.
It was a pre-roll, brother.
Ooh, a little Coney action. I like it. I definitely noticed it though. Hey, on that note,
Go over here. Boom. Boom. She's gonna drink water with us this time around. Because she definitely did not bet on Yasmin Lucendo. Because she's smart enough to not bet on women's MMA, I think. Folks, if you do drink, raise one up with us. And if you don't, raise up a sip of water. Either way, we appreciate each and every one of you for being here. There's well over 20 of you watching right now. So we're expecting 20 sips of whatever the hell it is that you are sipping. And we simply say, cheers to lying, cheating, and stealing. When you lie, may you lie next to a loved one. When you cheat, may you cheat the hearts of many. And when you steal, may you steal money from Vegas bookies. Cheers, folks.
let's go. That's a great one.
Saf beat herself a little bit when I first said, here's to lying, cheating, and stealing in the hotel room.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
Right.
She was like, no, my
Why?
morals and values
She's like,
refuse
wait,
for me
what?
to hold my glass up to this.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
made him say it twice too, so I could record it. I got the second one
Yeah.
on camera.
After ridiculing me for starting off with here's to lying, cheating, and stealing, she's like, wait, that was really good. I wish I got that on camera. I was like, I'll do it again. And she's like, do it again. And so we did it again. Wait, did we do another shot because of that?
I don't know. I think it.
I think we
stopped
did.
you. Or maybe we did. I don't know.
No, I
We
think
did a
we
lot of
actually
shots.
did do another shot because of that.
That was obviously at the point that we stopped being able to count how many.
That's why 1.75 liters of whiskey didn't make it 2 days between 3 people. Folks, we had a hell of a time in Vegas. And speaking to somebody who also had a hell of a time in Vegas, his name rhymes with Ignacio Bahamondes. And his actual name is Ignacio Bahamondes, folks. And he came into the lightweight division against a man named Jalin Turner. Oh, man, and the fight was a burner. It was fantastic. Just a beautiful submission in round number 1. But I feel like I've been steamrolling through this damn thing. So, Nano, take the lead and tell us what the hell you thought of this fight.
Man, I thought it was going to go down a little bit different. I thought we were going to see more violence. I thought my boy Jalin, the Tarantula Turner, was going to come out and showcase his skills again, get back in the winner's column. But that was not what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Ignacio Bahamondes went out there and took care of business. Like, this makes me sad. That's the man, and that's I'm about to Start calling him that.
I knew where the inspiration was, brother. As soon as you hit that, I was like, where's the soundbite?
Let's get it. I had to put my little rendition on it because Ignacio, man, I mean, he's the truth. Okay, this Chilean warrior means business. He's an anomaly. He's an MMA anomaly. I mean, this guy's like 6'7", weighs 120 pounds. Just kidding, he's a lightweight, but still, I'm like, what are we doing here? This guy's a freak. And I just was really upset to see Jalin Turner lose like that. I mean, he fell right into it. I wanted to see more striking, to be honest, but Ignacio capitalized. He used those long limbs to his advantage, and he retired my boy. Jalin Turner. That's really all I want to talk about, unfortunately, because that moved me a little bit watching his post-fight kind of retirement speech talking about Jalin Turner. He's so talented, man.
Do we think it's real, or was it just an emotional response?
He said he was debating going into it. He was like, if I was going to win, I was going to stay. If I wasn't going to win, I was debating. And the things he's talking about, like, I'm getting older, like, I have my kids. That's where I was like, okay, like, he's thinking about his kids getting older and stuff. Like, and that's, you start hearing things like that, like, nah. I wouldn't even want to see him back in there. It's just, it's not, the game ain't built for guys like that. You know, you go, you move on, you do your thing, you tried it out. And do it while you're young. Do it while you still can, because for me,
and I mean,
like,
sorry to interject real quick. Of his 9 losses, 44% of them have come by way of being knocked out. So I think that's the worry, right? Like, you've been knocked out 4 times. The damage you're taking, like, it's the best analogy and the worst analogy at the same time. Here is you're getting your eggs scrambled, right? Like, you're literally getting your brain rattled in between your skull, and that's where CTE begins to form. Right? That's how you end up getting hurt. That's that long-term damage. But I mean, a vast majority of his losses are from decision and submission. I'd understand if he was like a 500 fighter where he's getting finished more often than not. And I get it. He's on a tough run. He's won 1 fight out of his last 5, and that was over a King Green, who arguably should retire from the UFC at this point. Yeah. But Sav, don't laugh at that. I'm not being a dick. The fuck?
Yeah. Well, and it's tough. And he talked about the weight cut being harder for him. I mean, he's another skyscraper. He's like 6'5". Like, he should be walking around like 180, but he's fighting at a lightweight division, which just doesn't make sense. And what are you going to do? Go up to welterweight and get your ass whipped by Carlos Prates with a cigarette in his mouth? I don't think so. I mean, it's just, it's unfortunate, man. Yeah, like, it's just he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and he's talented as hell, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, even for myself, like, I played sports my whole life, and then, like, you get to a point you're playing adult league softball, and I'm hurting myself. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why? Like, what is it? What's the trade off here? And it sounds like he has other things cooking, or he'll bounce back. I'll continue to follow him. I'll continue to support my boy Jalin Turner. I was always a really big fan of him, and I thought he had all the makings to be a potential champion, but it just happens to be in the toughest division, in the toughest league, in the toughest sport, with the toughest humans, man. But now, off my soapbox, I mean, Ignacio, woo-wee, this man's a true, okay? And really, I guess we should have known when he was telling us he's been training with Belal Muhammad, the welterweight champion. Dude could probably be a welterweight. We might have one of those Marab, Aljo type situations where, the young buck's standing in the wings, but he's kind of a tweener. I mean, he's great. He's good. Took care of business. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's big and he's skilled. Like, that's everything, man. I mean, you got that kind of reach, you got those kind of skills, and now you got this kind of momentum. Shit, buckle up. In terms of what's next, I mean, anybody in the top 10, to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing. We were talking about Rafael Fiziev. If he leaves, that, obviously that's not in the cards anymore, but that matchup would be fucking fun to see. I love Rafael Fiziev, but at this point, Ignacio, go out there, take care of business. Maybe he should go fight Ramses because he's the best, and that's what he's going to be telling.
He's the best.
He's the best.
Sometimes he likes to wear the stretchy pants.
Need to borrow some sways. Who's next? Who do we think? Just SavJelly. I mean, do you
think he's ready for top 10? Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
I think so.
He's got 2 losses, and those only losses, one was a really close unanimous decision, and one was a split decision.
And I thought he won the fight against Mac Desi. I'm sorry.
Which one? That was the split decision, right?
That was a split decision. Yeah. He lost the fight against Ludovic Klein, but it was razor thin, like you said. Like, it was very close fight.
It was close.
Yeah.
So I think any top 10 matchup for Bahamondes would be fun.
Absolutely. Dixon Sider's in the chat right now talking about asking me what I use for tags and keywords. Dixon, I just sent you a message in the chat. Send me a DM, my friend. Let's chat. And man, Lane said they ended it with 7 seconds early. Like, yeah, we're done with this shit. My God, I thought it was only 5. That's even worse.
Thanks, Lane.
Thanks, Lane. Appreciate it. Did Nano say he thought Turner was gonna get it done?
I did, Lane.
I picked Turner with my heart too. He used to get shit done like that, and I really wanted him to get it back.
I used to get shit done at AKA, but would I go back and try and spar on a random Saturday? Probably fucking not.
Does it have anything to do with fight IQ?
What?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said, do we think it has anything to do with fight IQ?
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly,
Okay.
I think so. A little bit. I mean, because why did he decide to try to take him down? Or, well, not that he tried to take him down, but when you're going to stuff the takedown, don't be silly. Don't jump the ghillie. I'll just leave it there. MMAnomaly, talk to me.
Don't be silly. Don't jump the ghillie. The worst thing is, like, he's trained at Carlson Gracie in Riverside, right? Excuse me. And he's also trained at RVCA. So, like, these are great gyms. Like, RVCA, as Ruka Sport, right? Like, that's where Trevor Whitman, or rather the Trevor Whitman that smokes weed and drinks alcohol, Jason Perillo, trains fighters. Come on. That's the joke I'm going to make till the day I die. He's literally Trevor Whitman, but on alcohol and weed. So, me.
I was going to say, sounds kind of cool.
Girl, sounds like a dude I know.
Sounds like my guy.
Sounds like my guy. But no, I digress. He trains at Ruka Sport and he trains at a Carlson Gracie. So those aren't bad gyms. But again, those are the 2 gyms that he's trained out of predominantly. He's from San Bernardino, California, or rather fighting out of San Bernardino, California. I think it's a situation of fight IQ, as Miss Mary alluded to, right? Like, you can only get as good as you can get with a certain coach. And I would say that about AKA, right? Like, if you've plateaued at AKA, go to a different gym, as long as it's not Henry Hooft. Go to any other gym, and you will probably learn new things. And the issue is, like, I've made the argument that, like, Luke Rockhold made a mistake in leaving AKA and going to Henry Hooft. And the issue is, you got to know what's good and what's not good. So when you go to a new gym, you got to know, like, oh, this guy's selling me snake oil. Or, oh, well, like 50% of what he's selling me is snake oil, and the other 50% is kind of liquid gold. So,
or not even just that, but just building on your skills and adapting like new ways to see things. Like math, you can do that. With MMA, you totally can do that. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm alluding to, right? Like, so that's a great segue, right? So I was saying, you go in there, and if 50% of what they're teaching you is shit that isn't as good as what you've been taught, and the other 50% is stuff that you've never heard of, so it is something that's beneficial. Look, I'm not inventing these quotes. Bruce Lee said this. Keep, learn from everybody that you meet, right? Keep what's beneficial, disregard what is not, and make everything uniquely your own. That's how you build your style of fighting. You learn from everybody around you, and if it sucks, throw it in the fucking bin, dude. It's fine. You don't have to keep it. If it's good, put it in your back pocket, because it's literally money in the bank, kid. And then from there, like, you're just continuing to build the bank up. That's all you're doing from that point on. And that's something that I think Mauricio Rufy has been really good at. That's something I think Caio Bahayo has been really good at. I think that's something that as much as I don't like to admit it, Conor McGregor was really good at when he was in his prime, right? Like he would play touch button in the park. People would make fun of him for the way he's training, but then they'd watch his fights and they'd be like, oh my God, his range management, his body control, his balance, it's insane. It's next level. Fight IQ. And he's learning it from different outputs. And he's taking what's uniquely beneficial, disregarding the rest. So, yeah, I mean, Dix Insider said, in some contexts, especially within Chicano culture, ruca or miruca can be slang term for endearment for a girlfriend or wife, similar to saying my girl. However, it's important to note that ruca can also mean old or an old lady in a more informal way.
The more you know.
So just say it and flip the dice.
So are you saying that, sorry. You say he's training with old women? I don't understand where you're going with that there, Dixon. You completely disarmed me, though. So, mission accomplished? I'm not sure what your mission was, but I feel like you succeeded. I'm not sure. Oh, man. Juiceman was literally throwing RVCA in the chat as soon as I said Carlson Gracie. I was like, hey. I know he trains at Ruka. I appreciate you. I always say it was supposed to be pronounced Ruka for some reason for years. So yeah, RVCA is supposed to be pronounced Ruka. It's weird because it's a V, but it's Ruka Sport. I don't know. You're correct, but it also you are also correct in the fact that it makes zero fucking sense at all. So now that we've gotten a little bit derailed from this fight, Ignacio Bahamondes, Nano, the guy's got to have a top 10. We've already agreed on that. I think we're safe to move on, unless, Sav, do we all agree? You were on top 10 as well, right?
Yep, we're good.
And before we move on, finally here, do we all agree that Jalin Turner should really not retire?
I think he should.
I think so too, man. That was so hard.
He doubled down on it today too.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm. He made his farewell post on his Instagram today.
Yeah. A little
No,
synagogue.
I'm old school. I'm old school. It's mint.
Nice.
That's a big ass zing, girl.
When he first said old school, I was like, oh, so you chew tobacco. But then it was still the minute. Okay. I was like, oh shit, you're old school.
She pulls out the grizzly.
I got straight grizz. I got that Copenhagen. I was like, oh shit. Here we go.
I got that Copenhagen menthol, baby.
Got that snooze.
Yeah, y'all already know what it is.
Just like, ding.
You got
She just pulls out a brown ass fucking liquid bottle.
Not the spit bottle.
A little wacky tobacco.
Oh, the first time I technically did dip, I was 7 years old. We were moving, and I got stung by a wasp while we were in my dad's truck. It flew into the window and stung me through my lip. Literally, the stinger came inside the inside of my lip. And my dad, knowing that I'm allergic to bee stings, was like, son, look, we're on a deadline here. We ain't got time to stop at the hospital. So here, go ahead and do this. And he broke open one of his Camels and poured the tobacco into my lip. Because, fun fact, most bee stings, the venom is protein based. And in one receptors or nicotine breaks down proteins in your body. You know this stuff.
Oh.
So my dad, being an ex-airborne ranger, was like, I know how to fix this, son. Go ahead and put this in your lip. Hold it down there and put your tongue up against it. I'm like, yes, sir.
As you're
Those nicotine high
as you can't feel your lip. Oh, I bet. You can't feel your lips all swollen, beat venom in there.
I'm pretty sure I slept the rest of the way to Memphis, Tennessee, brother.
Smooth rap.
And that is a fun MMAnomaly story for those that are in the live show.
That's a good one. That's a first. That's pretty cool.
I was gonna say, I don't think Nano's actually ever heard that story.
I've never heard that one. That's crazy.
And you can't make that shit up, bro.
That's some MacGyver. That's some. I like it. Now I know. Balance
You
is
do.
power,
You
y'all.
do. It works on skin. Like you break open a cigarette, you push it on a bee sting. Like, yeah, it works.
My son got stung by a wasp at football practice, and some lady ripped open her cigarette and put it on there. Yeah, but it worked. It was so
we're just
cool.
gonna say,
that's great.
kids don't try this at home. Adults don't try this at home because nothing we're saying has any science behind it. Let's just make sure we're legally protected here.
Yeah,
Good thing you said
honestly.
that because I was gonna suggest people to start buying cigarettes so we can have
Yeah,
them on
right.
deck. Everyone have a pack just in case. Bring your roadie with
Can
you.
that be our first sponsor?
I don't know if this,
Candles?
I mean, especially now that she's like, can that be our first sponsor? Folks, we are not sponsored by cigarettes. We do not condone the use of tobacco, and it feels like a good time to play this. Big tobacco is the biggest of bigs, and we can't have them coming after us. The fuck? So I mean, like, we're not endorsing that. They're not endorsing us. This is the MMA Anomaly Show, no filter. We're just speaking it off the cusp here. Folks, we got to get into this next fight. It is a lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. Oh man. It was a close contested bout. I thought it could have gone either way. I thought Justin Gaethje was ripping some shots to the head with those head kicks. And Fiziev was just walking through him. And there was a moment in the fight where Fiziev was just land into the body. And I think Anik said it on the Anik and Florian podcast that you could see from his point of view, you could see fucking everything. But from his point of view, you could see Justin Gaethje going, come on. You imagine being in a professional fist fight, getting punched 6 times in the stomach and saying, come on, man, what the fuck, come on. Justin Gaethje is genuinely one of one. Like, the term MMA anomaly, for those of you that are new here, MMA, mixed martial arts, anomaly, something that is different than the norm. Justin Gaethje is a fucking MMA anomaly, bro. Like, in every facet of the word, he is just cut from a different cloth. The man is a legend. And honestly, I don't know who he's going to fight next. I want it to be a fight against Islam Makhachev, so that way Islam can kind of complete the circle. I think he beats him. But I think it'd be a hell of a fucking fight. And I think it'd be a feather in the cap for either man that wins. So this was a hell of a feather in the cap. Yes, he's already beat him. Yes, it was on short notice. Yes, Fiziev somehow made fucking weight in 8 days.
He was ready.
He should fight at 145, which he talked about today. But yes, he was ready. But again, I just
got
think,
distracted by the comment. Sorry.
oh God, here we go. Dix Insider. Oh, and if you're looking for a sponsor for the show, I can talk to my uncle that sells catheters. They'll sponsor the show if you wear one and use it during the live stream. Would you be interested? I would. Some of these go 3 hours. The live watch alongs sometimes go up to 4.5 hours. I had to put a little clip up there. Not a clip, but like a little one of these guys. You know what I'm saying? A little response loading action. So I could go and take a little piece during one show with Sterling. So yeah, man, hit me up. You know what they say? No pain, no gain. And you know what we say? Keep on going, keep on growing, and keep from going to the bathroom. Use those catheters. Hit your uncle up. I've already got a slogan ready, baby.
Just like that.
Flip it.
Hey! And with that being said, something none of us are pissed about, this Justin Gaethje fight. Sav is obviously just chomping at the bit to talk about this fight. And you know why she's still here and able to? Because she is rocking Dix Insider catheters, folks. Sav, tell us how this fight made you feel. And tell the people how you were able to watch the entire 7-hour event without having to get up to go to the bathroom one time.
Pause.
That's what I was thinking in my head was pause. This is no filter show for y'all, ladies and gents.
Anyways, I can't believe I got to watch Justin Gaethje fight live. That was such a fun fight. Definitely.
It was almost as
well-deserved
epic as
fight
my
of the
dad
night.
jokes.
Fiziev, it made me so mad when everyone started booing Fiziev like he didn't save this fight for us. He didn't save the co-main event for us. Much respect to Fiziev.
And short notice against Gaethje, like that's wild.
Against Justin Gaethje, out of everybody, Gaethje's 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Like y'all were saying, how he just shakes his head like, come on, like that's got to be so hard to go against mentally. Like you can't get through this guy.
I agree. Miss Mary, what were your thoughts?
I feel like it was a close fight until it wasn't. And it was amazing. My favorite part was the inverted triangle.
Inverted triangle.
That was pretty fire. That was like pretty early on, I think, right?
Yeah, that was sick.
Because they jumped out. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Things you weren't expecting.
Yeah, it was not on the bingo card. You just don't see that.
Dude, I could watch them fight like twice a year. I would sit back and just throw it on repeat, just keep watching them fight. I would not mind it whatsoever. I love both these guys, man. This was personally, my favorite fight of the night. Really, truthfully, like two of my favorite fighters. I mean, Justin Gaethje's the man. Represent AZ, where my home is now. So that's personal to me as well. And I mean, he's Mr. Highlight, man. He's never had a dull moment in the UFC. He's continuing to do it. He answers the bell. He takes the fight as well against a Rafael Fiziev, who's already fought. But like I said last week, I mean, that fight was also one that I just look back, I was just so excited by. Like, I found that fight to be extremely entertaining. These guys are both extremely high-level fighters, two of the best, two of the baddest mofos on the planet. And again, like for me, it's just a size discrepancy. It's not a lack of skills. It's the fact that Gaethje's, probably really more of a,
S-Dogs, are you late? I said this during the pop-up on this fight, brother.
It's Fiziev, not Faziev.
I love it. We're hive minding. He wasn't even here, and he's like, I got a good one.
All right, good job, champ.
Can you imagine the striking on that fight? Oh my gosh. I mean, it makes sense.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Inject it into my veins.
If Fiziev really goes down, though, I mean, he's the number 11 ranked lightweight. You're gonna go to featherweight. I think you got to get a top 10 guy, possibly top 5, and I think he does well against every one of them. Obviously, Max isn't really in there anymore, but aside from Max and an Ilya, like Fiziev I am really impressed with his striking. I mean, he showed a lot in that fight. He hit Gaethje a couple times, but like we all talked about, the way Gaethje just shook it off, like that wasn't a facade. That wasn't like his poker face. I mean, this dude trains with Kamaru Usman on a regular basis, who was one of the best 170 pounders we ever seen. So this guy's used to getting hit by some bigger boys. Fiziev versus Jalin Silva, pure violence. It definitely is pure violence crossover. Shout out Crossover MMA for that comment. What is he gonna do though? It sounds like he wants to go to
Lethal
featherweight,
Sugar in the chat, dude. Love seeing you comment in the chat. You always spit fire. Gaethje uppercuts were money all night. Nano, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was the sexiest punch we've seen all night. I mean, Gaethje's uppercut and his leg kick are gonna go down in history as just some of the best, some just most lethal shots you can take. And again, I mean, that's what he does. That's what he does. In a phone booth, in a tire, wherever it needs to be. I mean, Justin Gaethje is clean in the pocket. And Fiziev, really, like, his striking complements more like that Muay Thai kickboxing style. He needs to be out in distance more. He can't just be, I guess the clinch is one thing, but he's just too big. Gaethje and a lot of these lightweights are too big for Rafael Fiziev. I do think he truly is a featherweight. If he was able to make weight in 8-9 days, whatever, like, he doesn't have to battle it, which the reality is in the UFC, like, all these guys that are 155 or in most weight classes are like almost killing themselves to do it. Like,
to
they
get to
are
155.
at the cusp. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are like, they should not be there, basically, is what I'm saying. But
He probably weighed 164 on fight night.
Yeah, and Gaethje's probably at well over 175.
175, maybe 180.
Yeah.
I love you, kid.
Literally, I mean, we do this, man. We do this. And it makes sense. I mean, but he's like, 2-3 inches on him. I mean, everything. It's just, it's tough. And speaking of tough, I think you got to give Justin Gaethje the toughest matchup you possibly can. I do think you give him the title shot. Send location. Islam will answer the bell. You already know that. You already know he'll sign the contract.
Yeah, Gaethje versus Islam's Money in the Bank, bro.
I'm kind of surprised. They haven't fought yet, right? Like, I feel like that has to happen, man. That has to happen.
The hardest Khabib says he's ever been hit was by Gaethje, and the toughest fight he's ever had was Poirier. Imagine if Islam beats them both in more impressive fashion.
It can definitely happen.
It cements the GOAT conversation.
Dude, I mean,
I'll die on the hill, bro.
If they fight sooner than later, I mean, this version of Justin Gaethje, I mean, Dustin stretched Islam out,
I think Dustin possibly would have beat him if they used the old gloves. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, and it just, even Father Time, man. I mean, we get Dustin, even if they're the same age.
Father Time. You do that shit enough.
I know. And that's where I'm even thinking, like, Justin has a chance, brother. Like, he can, this version of Justin, if he stays focused, doesn't make those mistakes. I mean, he was in there with Khabib. He knows what it feels like.
Yeah.
And Islam might want to actually challenge himself and make it a striking bout, which it doesn't take many leg kicks and it doesn't take many uppercuts. And I mean, Islam really is exposed to both of those strikes just based on his style alone. I'd love to see it. I think it has to happen, brother.
I don't know if you're trying to segue me into this too easily or what, but I mean, we're about to talk about what happens when you overuse leg kicks and someone is still able to dominate a fight. Go ahead and move into the main event of the evening here, folks, because you already know what time it is.
It's time!
That's right, folks. It's time for SavJelly to be sad. In the main event of the evening, we had Alex Poatan Pereira coming in against Magomed Ankalaev. And it was a show divided. My guy was on Alex Poatan Pereira. I was on Magomed Ankalaev. Unfortunately for me, we never let a man do a shot alone, so I'm going to pour one up with him. Absolutely zero pressure, but she's already doing it. All right, here we go. What a fucking savage. Let's go. Oh, man. No. I told you it didn't even matter if he didn't get a takedown. I thought the striking was going to be a bit of a surprise for people. Oh, it's one of those times that I love being right, but I also hate being right. Folks, if you drink, raise one up with us right freaking now. As John Anik says, not now, but right now. If you drink, raise one up. If you don't, raise up a glass of water. But either way, we appreciate that you are hanging out with us. We're getting up to almost 30 of you right now. If you're not already like, comment, subscribed, smashing the bell for notifications. My cat's going crazy right now, smashing their scratch pad because of that. So make sure that you do your job. Do your due diligence. Like, comment, subscribe, do your shot. Cheers, folks.
Salud.
Good job, Keanu. Right on cue, just like we practice. Sorry,
Real quick, can I just say, if we don't get Gaethje versus Islam, can we get the rebooking of Gaethje versus Hooker?
Oh.
Because I still really want to see that fight.
I mean, me and Nano can agree on this. We both love a good hooker fight. We both love a good hooker fight.
So when Nano said he wanted
well
to
said.
see him fight for the belt, I was going to ask, like, wouldn't you guys want to see that fight before he fought for the belt?
I mean, want? Yes. But
What's deserved
Gaethje-
for Gaethje at this point?
yeah, that's my issue. And Gaethje literally was asked, folks. Oh my goodness. Folks, hold on. We got to hit the fucking air horns like 52 times because we have a new person in the chat, someone I've never seen before. Big Onk MMA.
Big on. And new.
It's Big Onk time.
And new.
Let's go. My guy, my friend,
Looking sharp, huh?
my confidant. Let's go. With the belt? Like it, Onk. Like to see it. Glad to have you in the chat. I was actually just about to glaze you a little bit.
And the wrench, because he means business. He's a workhorse guy.
Brother.
Lunch pail kind of guy.
We sainted. I'm with you, Sav. I'm with you, Miss Mary. What do I want to see? I want to see the Hooker fight first, obviously. I mean, come on. Again, injected it in my face. But I digress. At the post-fight presser, they asked Justin Gaethje, what do you want next? He said Islam Makhachev. They asked him, why do you think you're deserving? And he said, I don't care. Argue with yourself.
That's actually a hilarious response.
That's fucking fire, bro. So that tells me he's not going to take Hooker. That's why I didn't bring it up. Because he was trapped in a soundproof booth.
Oh my God.
No. I refuse.
Well, I don't know if you guys follow Dan Hooker, but he just posted his hand the other day, and it looks nasty. Like
It's a fucking balloon.
It looked like a balloon.
It's like a balloon, mate.
So basically, Emiliano, they're just not going to wait that long. There's no way.
If I'm Gaethje, I'm not waiting that long. Yeah,
Makes sense.
I'm not waiting that long.
I mean, but you have to wait that long because the UFC tells you so. And I'm gonna take a sneaking suspicion and say, Big Onk, are you Andrew Nance right now in disguise? Are you? Did you change your name? Big Onk time? The only other person in my chat that I've seen use that emoji. You son of a bitch. Using my detective
The
skills here.
Frankenstein, is that
Finding
what that
nerd
is?
Glasses. I always thought it was a ripoff of SpongeBob. I'll be honest with
Or
you.
like a SpongeBob?
SpongeBob
I was
No
thinking-
Pants. Yeah,
Like Minecraft, maybe?
could be. I mean, it would be more accurate to Minecraft than the Minecraft movie with Jack Black. What up, Gage Gidry? My guy. Shout out Louisiana, baby.
Yo, what it do?
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Wait, I'm Anakin. No, I didn't know it. And then Andrew Nance faked me out with the same SpongeBob No Pants. You guys are tricky. I love it. Anakin.
Slick.
Anakin. You had me panicking, Anakin. My goodness. He's hate looking.
Fatality.
IJJ.
Oh man, it's a good thing we're not monetized yet, because if we were, we would have gotten demonetized right now, folks. I know that. Stuck about it. Look, someone already said in the chat, I think it was probably Anakin. How in the world did Magomed outstrike Alex? My God. I almost want to make Nano do an extra shot just because it happened in real life. Dude, I told you it was going to happen. And Nano was like, what, brother? I don't want to believe it. Think because he's Dagestani, he's going to go out there and grapple. Oh, and by the way, he did. He tried to. That's what you think. Okay, I'm going to take the lead on this one. I'm going to pass it to you after. That's what you think, all right? He shot 12 takedowns. I actually went back and watched the fight again right before this. Fun fact, round one, Magomed Ankalaev landed a decent amount across the body, the legs, and the head. Alex Pereira, he didn't land a single strike to the fucking head in round one.
I'm sorry, Sav.
Like, you talk shit about Ray Saruya earlier. You're like, he's like, if you play a video game for the first time and you don't know the controls, so you're just like spamming controls. You're like, hey. That was literally what Alex Pereira was doing. He just hit A. If you're playing EA Sports UFC 4, as real as it gets, he only hit A and B. And every now and then he held the button down so that way it would change from a calf kick to a regular leg kick. But he only threw leg kicks throughout the entirety of that first round. And it was tough. Lane, he shot 12 takedowns and he didn't land one. You're absolutely right, my friend. He didn't land one. Now, do you want to know the crazy cool thing, though? Didn't land one takedown. 5 minutes, 42 seconds of control time. That's over a whole round of time controlling your boy without even landing a takedown. And would you be upset if I told you that he didn't attempt to land a takedown? Maybe 1 to 2 tops of those 12 takedowns were actually driven through and actually intentional takedowns. The rest of them were for the sole purpose of keeping Alex thinking about the takedowns. And that's why he got dropped in round 2 by a grappler, by a Dagestani guy.
It's why he was only pressing A and B.
It's why he was only pressing A and B. He was afraid of everything else. If you throw a big jab, you throw a big hook, which is what he's known for, guess what? You throw a hook and you whiff, I'm under you. I'm on a power double, and you are ass to mat, son. He was avoiding that at all costs. He fought a scared fight. He fought not to lose. And Nano, you played sports other than mixed martial arts. So I know you know damn well that I'm right when I say if you're playing not to lose, you're not fucking playing to win, bro.
Yeah, you're right, brother. And sometimes you just know in a match, you know, probably in a fight as well, like you kind of know when you have the upper hand or not. Like there's something that kind of happens. Maybe it's internal, maybe there's a situation. And you just kind of know that this guy's got my number. I don't know if this is my night. And, you know, maybe it was one of those things. Well, I'll just say this. I think Magomed is the most frustrating champion, in my opinion, for myself. I just don't enjoy watching him fight that much. But I will say, I will answer the question that was asked earlier. How did he win? And he won by the pressure, obviously the wrestling threat, and really having Alex on his back foot the entire fight. I mean, for 25 minutes, he's circling, he's trying to get out, he's getting thrown up against the wall, he's defending. How many takedowns was it? 12 attempts, and he didn't land a single one. This Dagestani.
And Alex landed one takedown and got 0 seconds of control.
No control time. He's gonna be exiled from his town. Okay, that is
like,
not
no. But what I'm saying is, Alex Pereira landed one takedown. He got the Muay Thai trip at the end of the round, but he got 0 seconds of control time considered for it.
They didn't count it, did they? Well, it was after.
They didn't count it as a takedown.
Yeah,
because it technically was after the round. The bell had already sounded. Sav, you heard that, right? Like we saw him drop. His ass hit the mat as the bell rang. So technically, it wasn't a takedown. But even if they would have counted it, I almost wish they did, because. Like one takedown attempt, one takedown gained, and 0 seconds of control time versus 12 attempted and 0 actually conceded, and over a round of control time. I'd fucking pat myself on the back, kid.
I mean, the reality is, I don't think Alex was going to engage down there. He threw him down. He would have walked back in the middle of the octagon and just been like, all right, let's go back to fighting. I don't think he was going to want to entertain that whatsoever. I think he just tripped him. Which is, you know, when you're frustrated, you do shit like that. Like, oh, fuck you, you know.
It was literally, it was a feeble attempt at like feeling a victorious.
Just get
moment,
off
right?
me. Yeah, like get off me. Let me just fucking throw you down. I know that feeling. But what I will say is, Magomed, man, he poses a lot of threats. I mean, he went out there, was able to get it done. I think with Alex, yeah, you were expecting more. You were hoping to see him just kind of say F it and go balls to the wall, but it didn't happen. And Alex was actually the one that got hit the hardest, or was the one that was potentially in danger. But I'm Chama. I'm team Chama. Like, honestly, like I don't even want to talk about Magomed. I don't really like him. Really, I want Yuri to go in there and whoop his ass, and then maybe Yuri and Alex fight again, or Alex just goes up and fights my boy.
You're never gonna go for that.
I go for that. I'm a Yuri fan. I think that and what's interesting,
be a rematch.
He said he already agreed to it, which is interesting. Like
he said Yuri's undeserving, and he called Yuri silly.
Silly?
I think he called him silly.
Or
maybe he said
he's
like a ridiculous fighter or something.
Yeah,
but he basically like maybe I'm ad libbing, but he essentially said he was silly. He said he's undeserving.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I don't agree with that, but
I think the rematch is the fight to make.
100%. But I'm
as a Pereira
before I jump in, I want to give Sav her floor. Yeah. A, tell us what you thought of the fight, and B, tell us why the rematch.
So I don't know. I think this was Alex's toughest challenge yet, and I think he went into the cage knowing that, and he was just way too cautious. And now he sort of knows what he's getting himself into. So I think the rematch will go his way. I can't get behind saying that Ankalaev is a boring champion or comparing him to Bilal. I can't say that they're boring champions because I just believe there's two people in that octagon.
Yeah. I'm so happy you said that.
Whose fault is it that fight was boring? Who was on their back foot most of that fight?
And that's a Pereira fan saying that.
That is
a Pereira fan is saying that right now, folks.
Look at the wallpaper on my phone, you guys.
We can't see it.
What happened? I broke it.
Everything is broken. But also everything is awesome.
The wallpaper on my phone, just trust me, guys. The wallpaper on my phone is a picture of me and Poethon.
Source, just trust me, bro.
But we
Just
still
trust me,
can't
bro.
see you.
We can't see
Sad,
you
though.
now.
You can hear me though, right? I'm coming
We
back.
can hear you. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool,
We can hear
cool.
you.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Look, folks. I'm agreeing with Sav 100% here. She is 100% a Poeton fan. Now, I want to point out something. Sorry, real quick before I jump back in. There it is. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
It's me and Poethon.
And if you want to see that in better quality and higher definition, make sure you jump on over to Instagram, Twitter, all the platforms, YouTube as well, at SavJelly. You can see it right underneath her here on the screen. If you're an audio only listener, again, that is at SAV as in Victor, JELLY as in why the fuck are you not already subscribed?
So something that people don't know about Sav is she's also a scooting queen. So Scoot and Sav, if you are a Scootin' fan and you don't follow her, that's a big mistake. Because I've seen it in action. So on top of everything else, she does that too.
It's a fact. It's a fact, folks. We're trying to get her to create a whole new Instagram called Scoot and Sav.
Oh my God.
Just to go over her scooting adventures.
I want pictures of the bunny hops because those are serious.
And honestly, I feel like Travis Tritt made the song Boot Scoot and Boogie for you because you have just been boot scoot and boogie on
my
the
scooter.
scooter.
Are we talking a razor, like scooter? Talking razors?
Yeah,
Talking
yeah,
a
yeah.
push scooter.
Yeah, she picked
We're
one up
talking
during
razors.
at
Listen,
Vegas, and that's how she got from her
I
hotel
didn't
to our
want to
hotel.
Uber everywhere. I didn't want to
Girl.
Uber. Uber's expensive on the strip.
It's nasty
So
work.
I paid $40 for a scooter and I scooted and I locked it to chain link fences near wherever I needed to go.
She hid it behind a trash can at one point for the
I did the
214
math.
presser. Or the
All of the
314 presser.
places that I went, I looked up Uber and I saved about $350.
Oh my goodness, folks! Real quick,
And it was
I gotta
not
give a shout
electrical.
out to someone in the
Not
chat here.
electric. I was burning.
You
my
got a straight
quads and
razor
glutes.
scooter.
Yes.
did.
That's- you-
That's actually the first thing I said, Nano. Real quick,
And Nana, you have no idea where she was staying. She was literally staying on the exact opposite end of the strip, like
Oh,
convention
that's far.
center
Yeah.
where the IFC.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I got
Sav. If
that.
you want to stay at that hotel when we go to International Fight Week, that's a move
Yeah, that's my place. That's my spot now.
because you're way closer
I
than
love
we
it.
would even be. Because yeah,
we will be pre-gaming at Sav's place.
we'll be pre-gaming at your place for that one.
You're more than welcome to come to my home. In
We
Vegas.
love that. We won't be showing up on scooters to store at your room. We will Uber.
Scooter
That's
gang.
your fault.
Scooter gang, scooter gang, scooter gang. Speaking of which, though, speaking of a gang, we have someone new in the chat here. Someone saying "Go Onk," but
I'm not liking
think-
this Alex hate going
I
on
think they would
here.
probably sound a little bit more like "Go Onk" because the cream of the crop it rises to the top. And Ankalaev seems like the type of guy who would step into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah! Let's
That
go,
was pretty
Macho
good.
Man. Let's go, Macho Man.
attaboy.
I appreciate you being in the chat, baby.
Welcome, Macho Man.
Macho.
I have Goliath on my fantasy draft, so I'm actually very happy that he put some points on the board for me.
He really did that.
I'm sorry, Sav. At that time, I did not think about the
I
fact that he was going to
understand.
end up going against Alex.
I understand. It's okay.
I understand.
Joe does as well.
Okay, so you guys want to see the rematch, or do you guys want to see Alex go up to?
There's
look,
no
I
other
want to
fight
see
to
the
make.
rematch.
I don't care what
John
anyone says.
Jones?
There's no fight to make.
I want to see him
The
fight
John Jones fight
John
is off
Jones
the
needs to
table.
fight
Merrick,
Tom
talk.
Aspinall.
I mean, do you think John Jones is actually going to fight who out of these two? He's going
He
to
would
say
rather-
both of them are beneath him now.
He's not a title holder
He
anymore.
said he wanted. He was. I mean, a while back, John Jones was like, title
A while
aside.
back.
He said Alex Bejeda would be the one.
That was
I mean-
before Alex Pereira lost.
And then, so what is Bruce Buffer supposed to announce in that fight? Because now he adopted the one, the only to Alex.
they
Is
both
he going to
would-
say the one, the only, the
He'd
one,
have to
the
do it for
only?
both.
The one, the only.
How epic is that?
Yes!
He'd have to do it on both.
They
The
just
ones
they can't
and the
make that
onlys.
fight.
The onlys.
The both.
I think he
ones, the
drops the
twos.
one and the only.
He has to.
I think he drops the one and the only. Hold on, hear me out. For John Jones. And just refers to him as the look-see-do fighter.
There's only
Yeah,
one go,
looks
and it's John
see-do.
Jones.
The
I don't know, man.
look-see-do fighter. Like, that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. He's also the only person that's been referred to as that, right? Or did Conor
Yep.
McGregor get referred
Conor
to one time
McGregor.
as that too? Fucking bitch.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fucking Conor
Then
McBitcher.
I say you keep Alex the one, the only, and then you say John, the GOAT, Jones.
I don't fully agree
And
with
that was Nano, folks. It was a good show. Always a great time having him here. Make sure you don't subscribe to @JiveTurkey Nano.
Nano back.
Bring him
Bring
back.
Drew would back me up. Where's Drew?
Where's Drew when you need him?
Where's my
We got
boy?
you. We got you, Emiliano. The girls on the channel got you.
Yeah. Free Nano.
It's still Chama. It's still Chama around
Free
here. Don't get it
Nano, they
twisted.
said. All right.
love
Let's
it.
go to the chat real quick. We got Big Ankh MMA saying Alex versus Surreal Ghana. And then saying Ghana by hook. Oh, that's
You're the
incredible.
only one laughing.
That's incredible. Oh man. Wait, hold on. Takes Insider said Uncle Live is like garlic soup. You ever heard of garlic soup? Exactly, because it's not a thing. It sucks. What the fuck?
So that kind of sounds good to me. I love garlic.
Said the Boaton fan.
I love
She's all
garlic.
garlic soup, you say? Chama.
Tell
I
me
say
more.
back. Oh, John will not fight Tom. He'll be stripped by July if it's not booked. Lane, from
Yep,
your lips to God's ears, my friend.
But do we think it'll happen?
I don't think John's going to fight Tom. I don't think he's going to fight anybody. I think John retires and then
Agreed.
sails off into the sunset because now the Alex fight is off the
Yeah.
table and Tom beats him. He doesn't want to fight a fight that he'll possibly lose.
I also don't think now that Alex lost, I also don't think he should be talking about moving up to heavyweight. I think he's got more work to do now in light heavyweight.
I think he should probably figure out how to get a nutritionist and go back down to middleweight where he was extremely successful.
That's where he got knocked out by Adesanya.
With all due respect, he got knocked out by Adesanya in the first round, got saved by the bell, just like he did in round 2, saved by the bell against Magomed Ankalaev.
I mean,
And I
Listen.
think he found out that the guys hit harder at lightweight, or light heavyweight. He went into that fight thinking, well, Jan Blachowicz went in there and he obliterated this guy's leg. I hit harder than that guy. I've got better technical leg kicks, but he's not as strong as Jan. Polish Bauer. Like Jan hits different with those leg kicks. 5 of them landed, and it literally made Magomed Ankalaev into the greatest grappler you've ever fucking seen in light heavyweight. Your guy landed 15 in round 1 that were considered significant strikes. And like they didn't even change the way the dude walked back to his stool. So that tells me that he should probably go back to middleweight with all due respect. I think he has power at middleweight. The same way that I think Rashad Evans probably should have spent most of his career at middleweight instead of light
Yeah.
heavyweight. But he
I think
went down way too late in his career.
yeah. Alex has power in any weight. He could go up to heavyweight and beat the shit out of all those dudes. Probably except
Dude,
Tom.
all those dudes? Jalin would do bad things to your boy.
No.
You don't think Jalin Almeida would ragdoll him, bro?
I don't
What he
think
just
he
did
would
to
doesn't
the
want
pose-
polar
he-
bear?
He doesn't pose those kind of threats, and he does
Oh,
not.
I
have hands
disagree.
Like
I
that.
firmly disagree.
Hold on, Sav had an opinion.
But
too,
I gotta
that
hear
she was
both you
agreeing
guys.
with Nano. They're on the same
Stav,
side.
let's hear it.
I'm kind of not agreeing with either of you. If we were talking about Almeida versus, I think it would be like similar. It's going to keep him on his back foot. He's not going to be able to take him down and ragdoll him, but I don't think either of them would really get to each other. I don't know.
I think Jonathan's such a big guy. Like, you're talking about a guy that's 50 pounds heavier than the guy he just fought. And that guy has significantly better grappling.
And that's why
we all
I
know
don't
they
think
are
we
in
should even be
205.
talking about Poatan going up to heavyweight because
I agree with you on that.
He was
None
kind
of
of
none
nervous.
of these guys,
against
you realize
Ankalaev.
none of these guys fight at 205, right? Magomed was probably 220 in there. Alex doesn't cut weight. Alex balloons back up to 220 fight night. So
I'm talking about a guy that's 255 pounds. That's why I said he's 25 pounds heavier than him.
Is Jonathan 255?
He's
Isn't he
255. He started off
Yeah, he's
smaller.
a smaller heavyweight.
He's
right?
smaller.
Yeah.
But
He started off at 205, but over the last 3 years, he started putting on weight, just like John Jones. But instead, he stayed active while he did it.
It says 235 right now. I'm looking at 235. Alex probably could get to 235 if he really wanted. And listen to this. There's another heavyweight that we haven't talked about that called out our boy Alex Bejeda. But I'm not talking UFC. I'm talking boxing. I'm talking about the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm talking about Alexander Usyk said he would
Usyk.
consider. He
Usyk
said
does
he would
bad things
consider
to
a
Poatan,
fight.
bro. I'm so
I know,
sorry.
obviously. But hey, and why I bring that up is because Alex could do whatever the fuck he wants.
He
can
could.
do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't
If
think he
I'm
has
Alex,
to do anything.
I
He doesn't
literally
have to
leave
do
and make
anything.
20 million to lose to Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, not cut weight.
Because that's
Go walk
15
in
million
there.
more than I'll make on my best day in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about some guy sniffing my crotch. I'll take it.
Facts.
Take it.
I can left hook him all day. I can spam it.
And he might land one of those. I don't know.
That's the thing is he has the nuclear option. But I think Usyk is the
he's
cat,
filthy.
bro. I'm a cat dad. You know, I gotta go for the
Hey,
cat.
and as a boxing fan, I mean, we don't get a lot of these matchups that happen often, right? Even in Ngannou, he went out there and did this thing against Tyson. But Alex, man, I mean, he's someone I'll follow and go watch him fight. He can go back to kickboxing. I'll go watch him fight there too. He's that
Big
kind of guy.
Onk. Big Onk is just a hater on Alex, and I'm here for it.
I mean, he's Usyk's.
Usyk's disgusting.
Did we see what he did to Tyson Fury? Yeah, I mean, he's legit. I just thought it's interesting that Alex even caught his radar. He was like, I would do that. So Alex is he stretches borders. He's a global star. He's the guy. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. So
Look,
I'm gonna leave it there.
Since you're leaving it there, I'll leave it here. Alex is about 4 inches shorter than Tyson Fury, who is the last guy that Usyk made look silly. He was punching up
footwork alone.
for 12 rounds. And I think if you're punching straight or even close to it, it's not going to be a fun night for I just can't in good consciousness and good faith sign off on that because I'm worried about Sav's mental health if that happens. I love the girl. I don't want to see her get hurt. And I'm more worried about her than I am about Pineda, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I think Pineda
I
gets
was
so bad
definitely
that she
being a
wakes up
girl
without a
about that
jellyfish
a lot.
on her face. And I don't even know how that happens. I don't even know how that happens, Nano. You could tell me, but I don't know.
That's $1 million question right there. I don't have the answer for that. I'm about to ask AI.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam, lamb. I literally said this weekend, you can ask Sav. She asked me what my walkout music would be if I ever fought.
That was one of them.
That's top 3, baby. Whoa, Black Betty. Black Betty had a child. Bam, lamb. Damn thing go wild. Bam, lamb.
Y'all leave my Alex alone. He is a kickboxer. He's not a boxer. Leave him
tell you.
alone.
I'm here for you. I don't want to see it.
All these comments, like leave
wanna
him
see it.
alone.
I don't want to see it. UCK was in one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on.
I gotta get an LSU or like some kind of Louisiana chant going. Oh man, I gotta get something added to the soundboard for when Gage is up in here. That's amazing. CSP promoter said clown emojis, which honestly I can only assume is because he's having such a great time in the chat that he's just laughing his ass off, and I love to see it. Like, comment, subscribe, my friend. We love that for you. JuiceMan562. This show is awesome, dude.
We think you're awesome.
You are awesome. Leave my Alex alone. I'm with Sav. All right, Lane.
Thank
And also, is that a stretched out Habib face? What is happening in your display picture? I don't know, but I kind of love it. Is that like a Chad Nurmagomedov? Like, what is that? What is that? Alex ain't really all that without leg kicks.
That's what
There
I'm
were a lot
saying.
of
My
leg
boy
kicks.
needs to stay in MMA.
I mean, he's not really all that with leg kicks because he landed a shit ton of those on Saturday. It didn't really work for him. Fun fact: 63% of all of his strikes went to the legs. And the last thing, soft ad leg kicks. Said Big Honk. Couldn't have come from a better person. Oh man. Thought that was Ron Perlman. That's fucking amazing. Hellboy. Jan has better than Alex. Jan hits better than Alex with leg kicks. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Thanks, Big Honk. Giuliano Argenti. What a fucking name. My goodness. Like, honestly, that is an incredible name. Just makes me. Let's go, baby.
What are they?
I'm a far superior channel to yours, so take the following advice. Stop fake laughing. My friend, we never fake laugh. Unless it's when you make a joke. But thanks for joining the chat, my friend. Lane, I had to change my profile picture from Alex because of a bet. That's the ugliest Russian fighter pick I could find. I love that for you. I love that for you. Oh, that's good. That's good. And not even that was a fake laugh, Giuliano. So we're still waiting on you to make a joke so we can do a fake one for you, my friend. We can even hit you with the... That way you feel extra good about it. Good times. So with that being said, folks, we've already talked about all the topics. We've already talked about all the fights. We've already addressed most of the comments. And with that being said, all we can say is this. If you haven't already done it, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications, folks. And of course, last but certainly not least, the only thing that we truly ask that you do is that you keep on going and you keep on growing, folks. Until the next time. We'll see you.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.